week's video is just going to be a short one. I wanted to talk about the benefits of creating a master course for any courses that you teach. So first let's talk about how you do that. Most of you probably know how, but just in case you don't, when you go to your courses, you can scroll down to all courses and then click the plus course to add a course. So if you want to add a course, I would recommend that you put it under manually created courses. That's going to make it the easiest for you in terms of if you want to at some point invite someone in, maybe as an observer, to check out your content. If you create it manually and put it under the manually created courses, then you have the ability to add people to the course. You can call your course whatever you want. I would recommend that you name it after the course you actually teach so that you can find it easily later. But let's see, I'm going to call mine Master Course Demonstration. And then let's say that you have already a course, and so you want to create a copy of a course that you're currently teaching, which you can later use as your master course. Of course, you'd go through the usual importing of course content, so I'm going to copy Canvas course. Okay, so I created my course shell. Now that I've done that, and like I said, most of you probably already knew how to do that, let's talk about why. Indeed, why create a master course shell? Well, I can think of 3 really good reasons why you should make this your standard practice. First of all, sometimes when you're working on a course during the quarter, you suddenly realize that there are things you wish you had done a little bit differently. Maybe you tried out a new assignment and you're still ironing out some issues or kinks within that assignment. Or maybe you have an assignment you've been using for a long time and you suddenly realize that new information or changes to the world have made some of your materials or questions not as relevant as they used to be. You might not want to make changes to a course that actually has students in it, especially if they've already done the assignment, because that could impact all kinds of things, including, if students want to go back and look at their work and suddenly your criteria or your rubric have changed, or they want to find the materials that they read before and they're not there anymore. However, if you know that you're going to teach the course again, you can make the changes in the master course, and that way next time around you'll have all those changes ready to go. You won't have to try to remember what it was that didn't quite work last time that you had thought about changing and go back to make those changes. Another reason is, when you go to copy a Canvas course, like I just demonstrated when I was making my master course, sometimes if you've been teaching here a while, it can get to be kind of daunting to look through that entire list of courses to find which one exactly you want to import. If you give your course shell an easy name that's easy for you to remember, it'll also be easy to find. So when you're going to import it, you won't have to waste as much time looking for the specific course section that you want to copy. And then probably the most important reason is every once in a while something goes wrong with Canvas. It's extremely rare, but for example, if a course gets canceled briefly and then re-offered, and it just happens to be during a time when Canvas is updated, your entire course could be lost. Now, this almost never happens, but it's not unheard of. If you have a master shell ready to go, then if that happens to your course, you can just easily go in and reload up that course shell again. I'm sure there are other reasons you can think of why it would be useful for you to create a master course shell. These are just a few. We recommend that you do so. If you need help, feel free to contact us in eLearning, and we'll be happy to go over this in more detail.